Good morning, Scallywags. I'm Danny.
And I'm wait.
Welcome to our reboot of the
reboot of the this isn't
hold,
right.
hold on.
Hold on.
No, this isn't working.
I feel so much more.
I know this feels yeah. That's not even cool.
All right, gang. It's time for the show. So today's Friday. Friday is our topic day. It's our opinion days.
Yeah.
And so today we're talking about comic book characters.
Talking about reboots. Let's get right.
Let's just right to it. It's reboots.
So that was our see what we did there. That was our reboot.
That was our reboot.
Yeah. So but today, instead of a lot of people like to talk about how much we hate reboots and things like that, we're actually talking about things we would like to see rebooted, but in a specific way. We're talking about things from our childhood, whether they be cartoons or TV shows or comic books, that we would like to see made into TV shows specifically. Not movies, but honest, gritty, raw, whether they be Netflix or network or whatever they may be, we want to see them on the small screen.
Yeah, these are our opinions of that type of genres that we believe would work much better, more efficiently on a small screen, as opposed to trying to cram everything in Avengers or Justice League style into 1, 3, or 4, however many hour-long movie they're going to be by the time this is all done.
So, like, for example, we're going to jump to a couple of things that have actually been made into movies already that we think would work better as small screen adaptations. For example, I'm going to go big here, and I think that the X-Men would work better as a TV show instead of a movie. I mean, let's face it, you're trying to put all these big name actors in there, you're trying to go with all these big budget effects and things, so you end up having Magneto essentially being the bad guy for every single movie. Even if he's not the main bad guy, he's still the bad guy in every single movie. There are so many great villains out there in the X-Men universe and so many great characters that they haven't touched on because they're going for the big names to put on the big screen. And it's a shame.
Yeah.
It is an absolute shame.
It is. It is. I mean, you've got so many little subgroups of characters, like
give me Mr. Sinister.
Mr.
Please.
Sinister. You've got the Acolytes.
You've
got the Brood.
Mojo.
You've got Mojo. Mojo would be
World
crazy.
would be
Mojo World would be phenomenal. You've got the they were the techno-virus type thing.
Oh, right. Omega
the
Red.
Phalanx.
You
The
get
Phalanx.
you
They were
get
called
the
the
Omega
Phalanx.
Red. You've got Lady Deathstrike. You've got so many fantastic X-Men characters, and it doesn't even have to just be X-Men. Bring in Factor. Bring in Force. Bring in the New Mutants. Bring in
exactly
any of them.
The X-Men franchise is probably one of the biggest, most diverse group of characters in Marvel today, and they've got so many little subgenres. You totally.
And something that you can tackle, if you have it in a TV show, there's something that you can tackle in there that has been touched on barely in the very first movie, and maybe the third movie, but never really other than that, and that is the fact that the greatest villain in the X-Men universe, us.
Is humanity.
People.
Yeah.
How much they hate mutants.
Yep.
I mean, it has always been a story about prejudice and things like that against mutants. So I mean, they can really tackle that issue in there as well.
Yeah.
I mean, you could honestly have it be just like the comic books. Make it a TV show.
Yep.
Another one that's been done as a movie before, Blade.
Yeah. I think Blade would do much better as like a Buffy style TV show where Blade is going after different characters and interacting with different vampires and different.
Marvel has the character back now.
Yeah, he has.
Put him in the Netflix group.
Why not?
Perfect.
And leading to that, why not then do like a Marvel Knights?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
or Moon Knight.
Or Moon Knight.
Moon Knight. Oh God, Moon Knight as a
superpowered Batman. Superpowered
Batman in the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
Moon Knight would be an awesome Netflix series. Another one that was that we grew up with. This was actually a cartoon though. Has also been made into movies. Really bad movies, but I think would be a fun show for like the CW or somebody like that. Scooby Doo.
Oh yeah.
Do you like Supernatural? Which they're doing a Supernatural Scooby Doo crossover. That's out there. That's happening. But a live action Scooby Doo Supernatural style, like they're starting to talk about the end of Supernatural coming. We know it's coming. We know it's not going to run forever, unfortunately. But Scooby Doo could pick up the torch.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be one of those things where definitely it's going to always be a villain of the week type thing. But, you know, Scooby Doo ran for ages as a kid, and they're still making Scooby Doo movies nowadays. You know,
it's still a popular character.
It's still a popular character. It's still a popular property. You know.
So, I mean, you can continue making the cartoons for the kids.
Yeah.
But for people, you know, I mean, we're both in our late 30s, early 40s here, you know, and our generation grew up with Scooby-Doo as well. So, and we can still go back and enjoy those old episodes. So, you know, our audience also likes Supernatural. So just combine the two. Give us a live-action Scooby-Doo in the same vein as Supernatural, and I think it would be an absolute success. Absolutely.
Speaking on other things like that, you know, Green Hornet. I grew up with the Green Hornet, watching the Green Hornet TV show back in the 60s.
Right.
And I absolutely loved it.
Not the Seth Rogen movie.
Not the Seth Rogen movie. Seth Rogen movie was...
Seth Rogen doesn't even like that movie.
You need to just wad that up and throw it away.
Yeah.
It was an abomination upon the character. But definitely it leads itself to a more of a serial type program where we go week to week building things up, and then maybe at the end of the season, boom, there's your big villain and your big reveal.
You know what would be great for that is do it like in a very dark, like noir style.
Like
Sin City.
Like Sin City, yeah.
Sin City, or like what Gotham is kind of trying to be, where
Gotham,
they're kind of going, that type of thing, but darker. I think you know, very dark. You know, set it in the 40s, 50s, you know, somewhere in that area, like the original comics and serials and things like that.
Yeah, that character really doesn't do well in modern times, but you put it back in the 40s. Yeah, it's gonna thrive.
I even go as far as to say make it black and white.
Yeah,
I mean
why not? We haven't seen a really good black and white TV show in a long
TV show.
time.
And of course, along that same lines, if you're going to go with a what could make an awesome period piece, doesn't have to be a period piece, but I think it works better as one. But The Question.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Same thing for that.
Same thing.
Sin City style.
It's because Question's all about conspiracy theories and linking things. You would almost have to do that in a black and white.
And that would just be, I mean, and you could honestly cast anybody for that. I mean, it's the faceless man.
Yeah, the faceless man. It doesn't matter.
I mean, that would be, I think that would be an awesome show.
Yeah.
What else? I mean, another cartoon show that's been made into movies that I think would make an awesome ongoing series because it certainly didn't make a good movie. G.I. Joe.
Yeah, you know, that leads us to things that don't necessarily transition well to the big screen.
Yeah.
In G.I. Joe, you could pick a character or two or three characters and focus on them a week again instead of trying to have to cram so many.
So for your ensemble pieces and things like that, they work better on the small screen. So you can actually get all the characters in there instead of trying to say, well, let's take these guys that were, let's face it, nobodies on the cartoon, and let's make them the main character in this one. And hey, it's the whole thing's about Snake Eyes. We know that, so that's all we're going to really.
Snake Eyes was a great character, but don't revolve a movie around him.
Right, there's so many. Well, it's not that you revolve them. I mean, yes, you revolve the movie around him, but it's that you spent so much time that knowing. How am I trying to say this? We know that he's the coolest character here, so we're going to spend so much time focusing around him that the movie ends up being more about him than anything else. I mean, the whole plot line, there's a whole subplot of this, the secondary plot of the first movie was the Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow.
Storm Shadow, yeah.
Their whole storyline.
Why didn't you just make a movie about those two characters?
About those two characters,
instead of trying an ensemble piece and then we've got to see, that's the biggest thing I have about that. So we've got
this whole big thing about Cobra and G.I. Joe, but it's really about Snake Eyes because we know he's the cool guy. But as a series, you could actually take the time to tell that story this week, and then next week we can focus on Shipwreck, or Roadblock, or Duke, or
whatever the case may be. But you got to keep those characters true to who they are and who they were originally created to be, and they don't transition well to.
They don't. Well, they don't, but the sub-characters that they essentially were, because they were all stereotypes, let's face it. The stereotypes hold true. It's mainly just the styles and things that they, you know, if you had Shipwreck now with his shirt half open and his little sailor hat on. That's not going to work on today's TV.
No.
Let's face it.
But I mean, those are minor tweaks you can make.
Right, but you've got your Navy guy. You know.
Along those lines, and we talked earlier about being dark, Justice League dark. You know, we've
brought Justice League Dark up before, but as much as I would love to see a Justice League Dark movie, especially when Guillermo del Toro was talking about making it, that would have just been the greatest thing ever. But it also would work as an ongoing series.
Yeah, it would. Again, you could pick a character or two and have them.
DC, Netflix idea.
Yeah. I mean, Marvel's cornering a lot of things right now. Time to get your step up your A game. Another one that I think would be great would be the Watcher. You know, and this is the reason why I think it would be great is because we know, and it's been told in canon now in the MCU that Stan Lee's character is a Watcher. If you don't know what a Watcher is a silent observer throughout the Marvel universe, basically saying this is history and I'm going to be a dispassionate observer and I'm going to report what actually happens and not let my emotions.
So essentially, you could cover every character in the Marvel universe, a different one on a weekly basis. If you're doing the Watchers as a weekly series, you could go into the What If series.
Oh, definitely. What if the Fantastic Four had different powers? What if Spider-Man never
What if the
in?
Silver Surfer took on the Carnage symbiote? That was one of my favorite ones ever.
Another one of my favorite ones. What if the Hulk was Galactus' Herald?
Oh God,
that was a favorite one of mine.
So yeah, just okay. So scratch everything we've talked about. Let's just talk about a What If series going forward. Netflix, Marvel, Kevin Feige. Message to you, my friend. Make a What If series for television, Netflix or something, please. God, as far as Marvel goes, there is a, and this was something I want to say they actually talked about this at one point in time. It was going to happen, and then they scrapped the idea before they ever brought it before cameras, and that is so unfortunate. But a little, I don't think it ran for very long, but a little known series called Damage Control. And if you don't know what Damage Control is, these are the guys. It is literally a corporation or a company that their sole purpose is to clean up after superhero fights.
Yeah.
These are the guys that go in, so like after the Battle of New York and the Avengers, so you got, half the city's all torn down. Or let's, take this over to DC, because they had a comic that was very much like this as well. I can't remember what it was called off the top of my head, but they had another series. So think of after Man of Steel, half of Metropolis is gone.
And they're coordinating.
Suddenly these guys become rich.
Yeah. We have one last one.
We do have one last one, and we've saved this one for last because I think this was one of our favorite series growing up.
Kind of kooky, kind of crazy, but I love it.
Let's preface this: they tried to make a reboot of this series, and the show just kind of ended. It got canceled in its off season, so it never really got an ending. But it had several. I mean, it was headed somewhere. It was definitely headed somewhere, and it was gaining popularity. So it was kind of a surprise when it got canceled. Several years later, they tried to bring it back with a new pilot, with a new cast, and it just didn't work.
Yeah.
But, and again, this is one of those that I'd be happy seeing a movie, but I would rather see it as an ongoing series, especially when you bring into the comedy aspect of it, and that is The Greatest American Hero.
Yeah. One of the funniest comic book-esque TV shows out there for its time. I mean, we gotta remember this was coming out at the time of it was the 80s,
mid-80s, early mid-80s, 83.
When people were really wanting to deal with Dallas and Falcon Crest and stuff like that. And here we had this show on prime time about a guy who just stumbles on his super suit,
and of course, one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
Catchy.
Everybody remembers that song.
Even
people from now have heard that.
Yeah.
But yes, they tried to bring this back. If you have the DVD collection, it includes this pilot on there. I don't think, now I could be wrong here, but I don't think the pilot ever actually aired.
Yeah, I remember it being shot, but I don't ever actually thinking it saw light of day.
This is also considered the final episode, even though it was a pilot for a new series, where Ralph gets outed to the public that he is this superhero. So the aliens take his powers away, and they hand it over to this girl. So I would like to see it with, I don't know, I guess I grew just from watching the series, grew up with Ralph. Now this is a weird thing about the show, and something you're going to have to fix on the remake. In the early seasons, it happened like 2 or 3 times throughout the first season. I don't know if it happened in the second or third season, but in the first season I know, the guy's name was Ralph Hinckley. But there are several episodes where they refer to him as Ralph Hanley.
So anyway, guys, that wraps up our Friday episode. As always, we want you to go to our Facebook page.
What are some shows out there that you would like to see, or not necessarily shows, but shows, comics, cartoons, whatever, that you would like to see rebooted into a television series?
Yeah.
Also, don't forget, we do have our challenge out there that we are looking for an intro, an opening credits style intro. So if you are a musically inclined person who also does animation or graphic design or claymation, stop motion, whatever the case may be, we really don't care. As long as it's as long as it looks good, as long as it looks cool and it fits our style. So send that in to us. Make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all those good things.
And it's Friday.
It is Friday, so thanks for joining us, guys.
Another week.
Week 5.
5.
Gosh.
It's going by quick.
It feels like it's been like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're wrapping it up, so.
Yeah.
You know what time it is.
It's time for your Russian clip of the day.